Hi everyone, so this is the first video, hopefully in a long series, well, hopefully short, right? Hopefully we're not homeschooling for too much longer, but the goal of this is just to provide relief for you as students and also for parents that are struggling with this whole homeschool thing. Teachers as well, we're so thankful for everybody's cooperation. It really is going to take everybody to battle this thing, and in the meantime we need to make sure that everyone is still getting educated. So just something small I thought I could do to help parents and students of all ages. So let's get going, but before we get going, let's get moving, because it's scientifically proven that if you want to get your brain working, you need to get oxygen to your brain. So the best way to get oxygen to your brain is to do some jumping jacks, because we're going to get our blood pumping. And when we get our blood pumping, that means we can think. So let's go. We're going to do 5 jumping jacks. I'll give everybody time to get ready. All right, are we all ready? Make sure you have plenty of room so you can stretch your arms, you can stretch your legs, but let's do 5 jumping jacks. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 5. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. A moment, live your best life. And let's get ready to do some math. So, first part of the video, we're going to start with younger grade math. So that would be anyone in 2nd grade where you're learning your times tables, 3rd grade, and even 4th grade. And if you're in 5th grade and maybe you are still struggling on those times tables, this first part of the video is for you. So what you need to do is grab a piece of paper. For me, I always have my handy dandy notebook, even though we'll be doing some stuff on the computer today. You will need a pencil. And if you want to have a pen or a highlighter, I highly recommend that too. If you want to grab a calculator just to double check yourself, and parents, if you want to double check your kids as they do the practice problems, that would be great too. But really not necessary if you don't have one. So let's get ready to get started. All right, everybody, so it's time to get started. Before we do, I just thought these memes are pretty funny. They're pretty relevant for what's going on now. When somebody asks what your method for homeschooling is, I have no idea what I'm doing. But I know I'm doing it really, really well. I feel like that's most of you guys right now. If you're struggling with school, I know you guys all miss your friends and you just want to go back. But you're doing the right thing by staying home, and hopefully we'll keep you caught up on that stuff that's a little bit difficult for you. So even though we really have no idea what we're doing, guys, we're going to keep doing it, right? We're going to keep acting like we're doing it really well and fake it till you make it, and maybe over time we'll get really good at this. So parents, I thought you would enjoy this one over here to the left. 8-year-old is covered in paint. 17-year-old is not speaking to me because pandemic is ruining her life. Yeah, so just a little humor before we get started. We're going to start with some single-digit multiplication. So I put some things here that I just want you to remember about single-digit multiplication. A lot of times we call these our times tables. And parents, I'm sure that you did not love memorizing your times tables. And I bet back in the quote-unquote day, before the new math curriculum, a lot of you guys just memorized your times tables. This is still a good idea. It's still a good idea to memorize your times tables, guys. So, number one thing that you could do to get better is to print or look at times tables online more often. expose yourself more often. You've got some free time. Just look at them, guys. Maybe practice with a friend. And we're going to look at a couple of strategies that will help you in some games. I've got this additional resources over here. We've got some games for you too. So just remember that the only way to get better at math is to do math. It's like a lot of things in life. The only way to get better is to practice. So that's what we're going to do today. And number 2, I just want you guys to find out what method works best for you. So I'm going to show you kind of some different ways that we can do this. So our number 1 way is just to look at those times tables. So if we go to our additional resources, and you look here, I have some digital practice here where you can fill in the blank by grade level. So that's this first one where you can fill in your times tables, and it'll give you, different levels of difficulty for the different grade levels. And then there are some games and by grade and skill levels. So those are cool too. And then we have the creative paper practice, which is a snake and ladders game. So look forward to those at the end. We're gonna view those, but just so you know, there is some practice for you guys. Okay, so let's go back to our times tables. Now, I've got some news for you guys. No more fingers, okay? Now don't laugh at me. I'm gonna try to draw a hand and oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not great at this. But chances are when you get stuck on your times tables, you go to your handy dandy hand, right? So let's say we were doing 6 times 4. Well, here's the problem with that. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers. But this is 6 times 4, right? And so what you guys end up doing is, and you count that, and I'm just going to draw thumb. Okay, well, I guess I could try to draw the whole hand. 3, 5, okay, whatever. You end up counting that 6th digit on the other hand, but then when you start back over, you can lose track of how many times you've counted, right? Or figuring out, did I only count 4 times or did I count 3 times? Whatever. So I do not like fingers. And shout out to my mom, because my mom gave me an excellent strategy to do the times tables without fingers, because she is an amazing, amazing teacher. She's an amazing math teacher. She's an amazing reading teacher. She's just all around good at her job. So thank you again, Mom, for these strategies. I credit them all to her. So we're going to start doing 6 times 4, and I'm going to make my pen a little bit thicker so you can see. So when you get one of these problems where you have 6 times 4, say you don't have them memorized, I want you to take this 6 and draw 6 dots on your paper. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And put an oval around it and put 6, oops, not there, sorry. Put 6 right below it. Now we know that 6 times 1 is 6. All right, so let's go back through and count. And I'm going to change colors so you can see each time that I'm counting. Okay, so we know 6 times 1 is 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And just like that, okay, just like that, we have 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. So just like that, no fingers involved at all, you have 6 times 4, which is 24. So let's scroll down and see if we can do some additional practice. So let's try a second practice problem. 8 times 7. 8 times 7. I'll give you some time to write that down. 8 times 7. Okay, we're going to come back, and I love this bright purple color, so I'm going to use my bright purple. And first thing I want to do is draw Sorry guys. First thing I want to do is draw my 8 dots. So 1, 2, 3, whoops. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And circle. And write 8 below it because now we know that 8 times 1 is 8. Now, I'm going to change my color so you can see when I'm marking. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. And I'm going to come over here and write that 56. So let's go back through and count how many times we've done it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's what we were looking for. We wanted 8 times 7, and it's 56. So our answer is 56. Now this is the part where you guys are really going to get to practice. So let's scroll down. Okay, and I'll give you a second to copy down these practice problems. So you can go ahead and pause the video and copy down your practice problems and see if you can use the dot method to practice. So pause the video and attempt these problems on your own, okay? Now that you've tried them on your own, let's check ourselves together. Now chances are you were able to do your 5s just fine and you didn't need to do this method because a lot of you know your 5s, but just in case you don't or you're trying to learn, 1, 2, whoops, 2, 3, 4, 5, and circle it. 5 goes below, 6, oops, let me change my color. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. Okay, then we go and we say 1, 2, 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, let's check the next problem, number 2. Let's do 6 times 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and circle it. Let's change my pen color here. Okay, so we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Now, how many times did we write it? Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Great job, okay? Let's go check the next one. Number 3, 7 times 9. Ooh, this one looks a little bit harder, doesn't it? 7 times 9. So let's draw our 7 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Circle it. We're going to change my pen color here. So we got 7 to begin with. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. So let's count them and make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 7 times 9 is 63. Good job. Okay, now let's go. Whoops. Okay, to our last one, which is 8 times 6. And I'm going to show you a little trick, okay? Because on 8 times 6, didn't we already do our 8s? Isn't that how we started this? We started this with our 8s. So we want 8 times 6. Now let's go back up here where we did our 8s. So let's count down to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 6 times 8 is 48. That's why this method is so great, because if you've already done it, you already have it written down, you don't have to do any extra work. Okay, so that's the dot method. Now I'm going to show you some flower power practice. So I love this. If you are more of a visual creative learner, you can do this on paper and you can color it. All you have to do, which is what I did here, was draw that inner circle, and then this is 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3, 3 times 4, 3 times 5, 3 times 6. Okay, so you could draw this on paper and even cut it out, and you could make your own flower power. So we're going to do one flower power practice. If you want to pause the video so that you can draw your flower first, go ahead and pause, but I'm going to get started. Love my purple pen. So I'm going to do my 7 times tables, because for me, 7 was always hard. So I'm going to do my 7s. Okay? So first things first, I'm going to draw my 7 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 7. Now I'm going to go back through. Okay, and say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. Okay, so now I'm going to label those. Okay, this is 7 times 1, 7 times 2, 7 times 3, 7 times 4, 7 times 5, 7 times 6, 7 times 8, 7 times 7 times 7, 7 times 8, 7 times 9, 7 times 10, 7 times 11, and 7 times 12. So we can come and fill in our little flower. Okay, so we can say that 7 times 1, 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 10 is 70. 7 times 11 is 77. And 7 times 12 is 84. And like I said, guys, you could draw this and color it and cut it out and put them all over your house. And you could create a little garden of flowers. Just imagine that. You could create a little garden. Okay, just imagine this little garden of flowers that you could create out of your times tables. Okay, so that's just an idea. Look, I am not great at drawing flowers. But we could have our 6s, we could have our 8s, right? So make those flowers and put those up all around your house. I'm sure your parents would love that. Okay, and this last trick, it's a little tricky, but it may work for you. It may work for you. So imagine we had a problem like that. Where we had 6 times 8. And say that you're really, really good at your 5s. Like, man, you know your 5s like nobody's business. Well, why don't we divide this into 6 times 5, right? Plus 6 times 3. Because 5 plus 3 is 8. We can do this, right? We can do this because multiplication is just really fast addition. Really fast addition. So let's do it this way. Most kids can count by 5s. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 6 times 5. 6 times 5 equals 30. Now let's do 6 times 3. We'll say I'm really blanking on that. Guess what? You can use our little dot method. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, circle, put a 6. Okay, now we come back and we say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, bam, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, bam, right there. That quick, folks, that quick. 1, 2, 3. So 6 times 3 is 18, so 30 plus 18. Well, then we just need to come down and say, which most of you are great at this type of addition. The answer is 48. Okay, so that's just another way that you could do it. Now we're going to go to these additional resources. These are digital practice, like I said, but y'all, this is my favorite right here. I love this. Okay, look at this snakes and ladders. Oh, gosh, I just love this. I think this is so cool. And it's for the 6, 7, 8, and 9 times tables, and it's free. All you have to do is create an account. So they have 40,000 free resources. Just create an account. Then also there is this right here, this printable. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am going to copy this. Actually, I think I already have it in my documents. I will drop that in here. So let me drop that in here, the printable times tables. Oh, well, why did it say that? Okay, hold on, guys. Try that one more time. I think I just selected the wrong thing. We'll attach the file. Okay, so if you click on this little, printable times tables, it will print this for you. Okay, and then you can just, put that up in your house and you can practice with that. Yeah, and so then there's those games. That's it for the younger grades. Now moving on to the two digital. I'm so funny. This should say 2-digit. I'm such a goober. Okay, well, let's look at the standard algorithm. This is such a funny thing that is in the new math curriculum to call this, I guess, the standard algorithm. A standard is just a standard to meet, right? A standard is a way of doing things. It's the normal way or the accepted way of doing things. So when we say standard algorithm, we're really talking about this fundamental concept of place value. Place value. And this becomes really, really important when you get into these 2-digit multiplication scenarios where you have to understand the difference between the ones, the tens, right? The ones and the tens, because things like zeros and carrying and blur, 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 that can mess you up. But if you know place value, then you'll never mess that up. So I'm going to start out by just going over place value. And I find the best way to do that is to just draw a decimal, because a decimal marks place value. Okay, so anything to the left of the decimal, anything to the left is a whole number. And okay, so it's a whole number. And in that first position, so the first position after to the left of the decimal, we call that our ones place. Okay, and then this next position, okay, the next position to the left of the decimal, change my pen color to something pretty. Let's do, again, I love this bright purple, so let's stick with that. And then to the left of that, I'm going to put a 2 in what we call the tens place. Okay, so that's where we're going to start. Now, we're not dealing with anything but whole numbers, so I'm going to put a 0 to the right of the decimal. So for right now, guys, we really don't need to worry about this part because we're not there yet. We're not going to multiply decimals. We're only going to multiply those whole numbers. So when we actually look at the number 21, what we're saying is that we have a 2 in the tens place. Well, what that means is that we have 2 sets of 10, right? So think about that. If we have 2 sets of 10, that means that is 20. So instead of writing this 2, we could separate it out and say this is 20. And because there's a 1 in the ones place, it's 20 and 1. That's how we could break up this number. It's important that we understand that we can break up these numbers into 20 and 1 because it helps for this thing called the box method and for just the regular standard algorithm way. So I'm going to show you the regular standard algorithm way, or what we call, I guess, the old school way of doing this. So hang on tight, boys and girls, because this is about to get a little bit tricky. Okay, so let's do our first example problem. Let's do 21, since we just did that one, 21 times 6. And so we're going to start with 2-digit on 1-digit. So we're going to reformat this in a way, 2 different ways. You could either see it like this, 21 times 6, okay? And when you see it that way, you want to make sure that you recognize that this is the ones and this is the ones. So those two have to be lined up with each other when you go to write the problem. And 2 is in the tens place, so you have to put it there. We don't have anything in the tens place for 6, right? Because the number is just 6. So when we do this, we want to start out with our ones. You always have to start out with our ones. So we want to say 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So the answer to that is 126. Now, there's another way that I could have done this. I could have broken this up if I had a hard time understanding the place value or visualizing the place value. I could break this up into the number 20 and the number 1, just like I did up here, and I can multiply them individually. So I can say 20 times 6, okay? So 20 times 6, we know that anytime we have a 0 at the end of a number, we can just add it at the end. So 6 times 2 is 12, and we're going to carry down our 0, so that's 120. Then if we take our 1 and our 6, then we can say 1 times 6, and we know that that equals 6, and then we can just add those numbers together and get our answer 126. It doesn't matter which way you do it, whether you line it up this way or you line it up that way, it works, okay? So now let's look at some two-digit multiplication. And if you're not on two-digit multiplication yet, with two-digit times two-digit, that's fine. You can skip this part of the video, but if that's something you're working on, let's look at how we can line it up in these two different ways, either like this or like this, separate it out and get our answers. Whoops. Okay. So our next example problem, let's do 15 times 20. Now, actually, let's not do 15 times 20. Let's do 15 times 25. 15 times 25. So we're going to set it up, recognizing from the beginning which place values. So the 2 and the 1 are in the tens. The 5 and the 5 are in the ones. So let's set up our problem. 15 times 25. We have to make sure that we're lining up our ones and we're lining up our, and we're lining up our tens. Cool. Now we're going to draw a line. Okay. And we're going to work this problem. Again, you want to start with the ones. You always have to start with your ones. So let's start there. We'll say that 5 times 5 is 25. This is where the idea of the standard algorithm comes in. It's actually the same thing you did in addition, where you carried place value to the next column, right? So 5 times 5 is 25. I'm only going to write down the ones digit of the 25 because in the number 25, 5 is in the ones. And then I'm going to take my 2, my tens, and I'm going to carry that 2 to the next column into the tens column. So now we want to say 5 times 1, 5 times 1. But remember, just like in addition, when you go to add that next digit, that next column, if there's a number here, you have to count it. So 5 times 1, 5 times 1 plus 2. So 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 equals 7. So we are done with that number, okay? Now let's move over to our 2. Now, here's my question, guys. Which place value is that in? That number is in the tens, which means when we write the answer to this 2 times 5, 2 times 5, when we write the answer, we need to write it in our tens place down here, not in our 5s, okay? Not in our 5s. Not under the 5 in our 1s. So we'll do 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm going to put 2 times 5 is 10. And if we think about the number 10, what number is in that all the way right-hand side? It's 0. So you put down your 0, and now we're going to take that 1 and carry it over. Okay, take that 1 and carry it over to, so we're done with this 2. We're going to carry it over to our tens place. So 2 times 5 is 10. So we put our 0, carry our 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So 2 times 1, whoops, sorry guys. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, plus that 1 gives you 3. Whoops. Now you're going to draw a line because we did both of our digits. Now, if you remember, I told you not to put a value right here. So now we're going to come back and put our 0. Okay? And before, I mentioned that multiplication is just really, really fast addition. That's how I remember that at the end of every problem, at the end of, oh my goodness, guys. Let's do it this way. That's how I remember at the end of every multiplication problem, I'm going to have to do some addition. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 0 is 7. And bring down my 3. The answer is 375. Okay? So now I'm going to show you something called the box method, which I think is actually much easier. And it touches on, it touches on what I did up here, how we separated this into 2 different problems. We said it was 21 times 6, but we could say it was 20 times 6 and 1 times 6, and then we added those together. That's what the box method does for 2-digit times 2-digit multiplication. So let's do a couple practice problems with the box method. Okay, so let's do the box method. This is a way that a lot of people don't like. You'll see this again when you get to high school. You use it for later math. Actually, it can be applied to a lot of things, even when you get into science, when you get in high school. My Punnett square people, right? If you've touched on Punnett squares, we use the box for that too. So I think that just this idea of a box to do certain problems or to visualize problems is a really, really good idea. So before we do anything, y'all, let's just draw a box. So get your box on your paper. Ooh, my box doesn't connect. Look, that's so funny. And then just draw a line down the middle and draw a line across. So here we have our box, and our first problem that we're going to do, let's do, what do we want to do? Let's do 34 times 26. Okay, so I'm going to move my box down a little bit because I got it a little too high. move it down a little bit. Okay. So let's do 26 times 34. Well, this is where your place value really comes in handy. If you know that this means 20, it's not just 2, it means 20 because it's in the tens, and that this means 6, right? Just 6 ones, and this means 30, and this means 4. If you know that, then this is going to be cake for you. If you don't, then I suggest you just practice your place value. Practice identifying that this value, the second place, okay, means the tens, or that this is 20 and this is 30. So what we can do is break these up. 26 is really the same as saying the number 20 plus the number 6. 34 is the same as saying the number 30 plus the number 4. So we'll put 4 here. And now you're just going to multiply each place value times each other, okay? So what you can do is come at the top of your box, okay? And first we're going to do 20 times 30. So we'll do the first box is 20 times 30. Because see, this is where those two come together. So 20 times 30, we know that when we have zeros in a number, we just add up the total number of zeros. So there are 2 zeros, and 2 times 3 is 6. So this first box is 600. Now we're going to do our next box, which is bring over our 30. It's 30 times 6. So now we're going to do our same trick, because you guys know this rule that when you have zeros, you just add it on the end. So here's a 0. Now do 6 times 3 is 18. So 180. Now let's go to our next row. Our next row, we have 4 times, bring our 20 down, and we know that when we have a 0 there, we just count the total number of zeros and write them down, and 2 times 4 is 8. Perfect. Now let's do our last column. Bring over our 4, bring down our 6. 4 times 6 is 24. So now all you have to do is add up all of these numbers. So I'm going to switch to purple. I'm going to circle 600, 180, 80, and 24. So I'm going to say 600 plus 180 plus 80 plus 24. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 4 is 4. 8 plus 8 is 16. Plus 2 is 18. So we write down the 8 and we carry our 1 like our standard algorithm. We carry that 1 because it holds the value of 100. Because this is in the tens. When we carry it, that 1 is really the same as saying one group of 100. So then we have 6 plus 1 is 7 plus 1 is 8. So our answer is 884. Now, you could have done that the other way. Let me show you how else you could have broken that up. You could have done it like this. 26 times 34. You could have broken this up into 26 times 30, right? Because that's the 3 in that tens place, so it has a value of 30, and then you can do 26 times 4. Okay, because there's this 4 value. Whoops, sorry guys. There's this 4 value in the ones, okay? And then you could have done these the way that we did before here and separate them even further. But why would you do that? Why would you do that when you can just quickly do the box, right? And practice not just your multiplication, but your addition. So let's do some practice. So why do I have to practice, right? Why do I have to practice? Well, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit, okay? Good to remember. Practice creates confidence. Confidence empowers you, right? And gardens are not made by singing, "Oh, how beautiful," and sitting in the shade. So these are great reminders that practice is a way of life. It's something that can only make us better in everything that we do, and it builds our confidence and our ability to do more and more each year as we go through school. So I just want to give you some practice problems, and then parents, I encourage you to check those answers to these problems with a calculator. Or if these practice problems are not your jam, then you can go to the additional resources tab, and I'm going to add some resources here. I'll provide a link for this digital OneNote so you guys can actually access this presentation yourself and click on the links. Like you won't have to type them in yourself. So first, I'm just gonna write you out some practice problems. Okay, so let's do 48 times 24. Okay. 54 times 36. 14 times 18. 29 times 32, okay. And 42 times 16, okay? And I will actually provide the answers right here on the side. I'll make this the answers page. So guys, don't come here unless you want the answers to this, okay? So that's all I have for you today. I will continue to put more stuff up as the quarantine continues, and I hope that this helped you guys. This is my first time ever doing something like this, so just let me know any feedback that you have, what was helpful, what wasn't helpful, but I love you guys, and I hope that everyone is staying safe and remaining healthy, and looking forward to more videos in the future. I know some people had some interest in 5th grade math, like some long division. So look for some division practice in the next video. But other than that, thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.